Hi, my name is Edwin Tong, and this is my T-Spec project for Computer Science 2. So what I basically made is a password changer, and I'm going to show you how it works. So I'm going to click Run, and this is going to ask me for an input. So I'm going to click the word impossible. Impossible. And once I click Enter, it basically gives me a different version of impossible. So as you can see, the I is replaced with 1, the 2 S's are replaced with money symbols, the I is also replaced with 1, the B is replaced with 8, and the E is replaced with 3. So as you can see, it's almost the same word, kind of, but like it's replaced with some letters and numbers in different parts of the word. And I feel like this can be used to make your password more secure by using this version, but still readable to your original password. Now, the code itself heavily relies on loops, strings, and the if statements. So right here, you can see me putting include string like on the headers. This is because I want to use some of the string functions that this comes with. The main function right here, I made a string called user input and an integer I that's equal to 0 right now. Now, once the user is put in the what's it called, an input like me, the program can start. So once the program starts, it will go right into a loop statement with this whiles, and basically the loop statement has to start if this statement inside is true. So let's see the statement. It says that if while I is less than the user input length, so that means since I is equal to 0, if the user input length is anything above 0, the loop will start. And since I put impossible, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters, this thing is basically equal to 10, and since 10 is bigger than 0, this loop will start. So the loop, basically this right here, includes all of this. See, this is highlighted, so basically this whole thing loops over and over again until I is no longer bigger than the user input length. And as you can see here, this I plus plus basically makes I, like, as soon as if this reach what's it called, to the bottom of this, I will increase by 1, and it will keep doing that until it reaches 10 letters, and then the loop will stop. So once the loop started, this is the code itself. I made another string called single, and it is equal to the user input substring. So basically, this is another string that is part of the user input, which is impossible. So as you see here, the substring in this little parenthesis right here, you see that it says I and 1. Now, I right now is set to 0, as you can see here, and basically what that means is this is the placement where it starts at. So since I is 0, it's actually going to start at the letter I in impossible. And this right here is the length. So basically, it's going to start at 0 and it's going to have a length of 1. So basically, it's just going to get the letter I itself. And so basically, single is the letter I. Now, once that happens, the code and you go to the if statement, and it says if single is equal to the letter I, which it is, then this whole entire area is going to be executed. So let's see the code. So once this is executed, the first thing says single is now equal to the letter 1. So basically, it turns the substring from I equal to 1, and then we create 2 more strings called before and after. And basically before it's set to the user input substring again, and basically it says 0 and I. Now 0 it starts at I, but this one also says I. So since I is still 0, it will say 0 0. So this is the string before is nothing because it has the substring itself has no letter in it. Now the other code, the other strings, it says after, and it's equal to the user input substring of I plus 1. Now notice there's no comma, right? So basically I plus 1, since I is still 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. And now it starts at the user index of 1, which is M. So, but since it has no comma, the substring itself will just start at M and then basically have the entire string. So the string after has MPOSIBLE. It has every word, every letter except for I. Now the user input now it's the last line of code is user input is equal to before, which is nothing, plus single, and single right now is equal to 1, and then plus after, which is the rest of the letters. So basically it is nothing plus 1 plus everything else, and that's the new user input. Now once that happened, it goes on to that's basically the most complex part. All of this is basically the exact same thing, but it's just checking for different letters instead. So let's go to the next one. Right here it says if single is equal to I, which is true, right? Then it will skip all of this, and then it goes into I plus plus. So basically I is now equal to 1. So it will go back right here and check this again, and basically since I is equal to now I is equal to 1, it will check the next letter, which is M. And since the user input substring, single is now equal to user input substring M, and it says if single is equal to I, which is not, it will skip over to the next one. It says else. So, and if single is equal to A, which it isn't, then it will skip over to the next one. If it's equal to S, which it isn't, B isn't, and E. So if it's not all that, it would just go on to I plus plus, which is the next letter. It will check for P, it will check for O, and then once you finally get to S, down here, it will do the same code before and starts all over until you get to E. And once I goes above 10, or goes to 10, and the user input link is no longer greater than that, the loop will stop, and then the code will stop, and then after that, down here, your the user input will be executed, and then you get your password here. So let me try that one more time. I'm gonna put some more code. As you can see, the code changed, and basically that's my whole code.